Okay, welcome to the 1090 podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, from Canada. I'm here with Pieter Kort. Last name is spelled like my wife's name. I used to call her Kort all the time. K-O-R-T. Let's do a little context. So you're 2022.
March 19th.
March 19th, family vacation in Florida. You're traveling home, and you're driving your family.
I was the driver, yeah.
And you get hit by a cement truck.
Cement pumper truck, yeah. 70,000 pound cement pumper truck.
And you lost two of your kids. Mm-hmm. Your wife and two other kids were severely injured. Went to the hospital. They pulled through.
Yeah. Maddie and Joni died on impact.
Okay. Gonna start with the obituaries for Maddie and Joni. I like their names. Maddie and Joni Kort died in a motor vehicle collision while returning home from a family adventure with their beloved mama, Jamie, daddy, Peter, older sister, Hannah, and big brother, Ethan. Maddie was the life of the party. She was a brilliant student and a gifted athlete. Maddie excelled at swimming and was an actor in the local theater. She was a natural protector and care provider to children. Achieving her bronze medallion in February of 2022, Maddie was the best friend and family member anyone could ever ask for. She loved deeply and unconditionally. Her love, companionship, sense of humor, and far too many other wonderful characteristics to list will be sorely missed by all who were lucky enough to be graced with her presence. Joni, in a word, was magic. She embodied all of the joy, mystery, and wonder of childhood. Joni wanted nothing more from you than your time. She had a fierce loyalty and immeasurable love for her family and friends. Joni was a gifted artist, had a deep appreciation for nature, and was always loving and kind to animals. Joni enjoyed playing rugby, gymnastics, boxing, fishing, and drawing. Like her sister Maddie, she partied hard and was absolutely hilarious. Joni's company, kindness, and compassionate consideration will be painfully missed by everyone who was blessed with her love. Maddie and Joni were strong, intelligent, and beautiful girls who were amazing to hang out with. Their partying will continue in heaven with their nanny and papa. Their legacy of laughter and love will live on through their cousins. Their beautiful spirits will be eternally cradled and embraced by their Grandma Marge and Grandpa Ross.
Life's 10% what happens to you and 90% what you're going to do about it.
Where do you want to start with your story today?
I guess a good place to start would be just how wonderful Maddie and Joni were. They're just incredible people. Everything that obituary was true, and I could talk about them for days.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely incredible. Maddie actually just become a lifeguard.
What's your shirt?
Oh, so this is something that we do every year now to honor Maddie and Joni, but Maddie specifically, because Maddie was an incredible swimmer. She's on the swim team in Belleville. And during COVID, the Belleville swim team had to get out of the pool and swim outside. And there's a beautiful lake close to our home called Roblin Lake. And when Maddie would swim at Roblin Lake, I would jog around it. So to sort of commemorate that, or memorialize it, I guess, we created this event called the Aquathon. It's a great time for family and friends, and it's a 1 kilometer swim in Roblin Lake, and then the jog around Roblin Lake is about 8 kilometers. So it's just a nice way for the community to come together and spend time. Maddie's the people that she swam with. Her coach is heavily involved, and our family, and we all go out and just celebrate Maddie for an afternoon. I have a T-shirt on underneath that I'll kind of break out for the second half because that's the one
Aw.
one I wear for Joni.
That's great. Yeah, you said lifeguard, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I just felt like the shirt had something to do with her
Yeah, of course.
being a lifeguard. So she was a good swimmer.
Wonderful, wonderful athlete and a very good student.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the reasons why I wanted to come here, first of all, is to meet you and spend time with you. But it's part of my journey is gratitude, because in many ways this show, this podcast, helped me on my survival journey, and I was also able to sort of listen to some of the podcasts, and by listening to them, I was introduced to other material. So I found Colin Campbell's book very, very powerful. And I read
Oh,
that.
wow. I love that. I love Colin.
Yeah, he's wonderful. And
Very similar to your story, 2 kids.
yeah, Ruby and Hart. Yeah. And also hit in a tragic way. And I've loved the sound of Colin's voice, and reading his book helped me. And I don't know if I'm saying it right, so I apologize, but Dr. Cacciatore's book I actually quite like as well.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful piece. So it's part of my grief journey is coming here and spending time with you.
Thank you. That means a lot. I think I'm going in a similar phase. Like, I'm trying to be grateful for things and tell people thank you. It's important to me too.
And then, Joni at 10 was all those things that you just read in. She was wonderful. And
A boxer.
yeah, so Maddie and Joni actually both boxed with me. So I'm very, very amateur. I think I joke sometimes. I've got an amateur boxing record of 1-0, and I retired quickly because I wanted to make sure I had a good record. And even that, it was just a charity boxing thing. But it was sanctioned, which was funny. But yeah, so I train at the local boxing club, and Maddie and Joni would come out and they just loved it. 13-year-old and a 10-year-old girl, but just
Like, we get to punch each other?
they loved it. And it's funny, Maddie would never hit JoJo because she was Maddie was strong, and she was a southpaw, and Maddie's left hand at 13, she kicked like a mule punch. She was she was strong
power.
Yeah, she was powerful. And
JoJo. I like that nickname.
yeah, Joni Adele.
You're from Canada. I don't know if I mentioned that. Like, the accent is wonderful, by the way. Like, I'm loving it.
Oh, and today, I mean, in terms of your home, I spent some time hiking around St. George, and what a lovely place that you live in. It's absolutely gorgeous. I say this in the best way. It's so rare. I felt like I was almost on a different planet. It's just so beautiful. I had a lovely hike this morning in Snow Canyon, right?
So pretty over there, yeah.
Very nice. I love the quiet. It's peaceful.
You got to come back more often, man. Love to have you.
Next time I'll bring Jamie, Ethan, and Hannah so they can enjoy it. I was just, as soon as I got there, the first thing I wanted to do was FaceTime them to share with them how beautiful it is here.
So they're both boxers.
Yeah. Both boxers. Joni's primary, she was a wonderful gymnast, actually. And Hannah, our firstborn, was a provincial level gymnast, incredible athlete, and coached at the gymnastics club for a very, very long time, years and years. And back in 2022, when this tragedy happened, Hannah was actually Joni's gymnastics coach, which is obviously pretty special.
That's so cool, yeah.
And Maddie, again, was at the swim club. I think Maddie, being the next sister and she's really, truly the middle child, because Hannah's the eldest, and JoJo was the baby, obviously, and Ethan's the only boy. So Maddie really was in the middle. So she wanted to forge her own pathway, and she started in gymnastics, and she didn't want big shoes to fill. She wanted to forge her own pathway. So she went to the pool and then made her own way there. She's a wonderful swimmer. She held a record in Belleville for a period of time. She was truly amazing. And I think about Maddie, and Maddie was so cool that she could roll with Ethan's friends that are 2 years older, but still took the time to be the best sort of care provider and always looked after the little kids too. So she really was special. And then Joni couldn't be more special. She was, when I say all she wanted was your time, I'm telling you, when I came home from work, Joni would be waiting at the end of the street and then would sprint up the driveway, and she'd say every time, I missed you when you're at work. What are we doing tonight? She just wanted time. Like, she was just that special. She was such an incredible person. Maybe not as sort of, she was a riot, but, you know, Maddie would have a big group of friends. JoJo was more specific. She had some friends that she held real tight. But if you're Joni's friend, like, she was ride or die. Like, she was again, both of them super, super cool, amazing people.
Has it always been easy for you to talk about them?
No.
Is it recent that you started talking about them, or how did that happen?
It's a process. So the one thing, and I want to be careful, like, this is what works for me, right? Like, this is what helped me. And I can't say that it would work for everybody, but the thing that was super, super important for me is to talk about them. Like, I don't want to live a life and try to pretend like they didn't exist, right? Like, I won't do that. And I think there's some, I don't know if you want to call it old school or some sort of thinking that, you know, the best way to grieve is just to keep it a secret and, you know, close the doors, change the room, move. And I wouldn't do that, you know. And I remember reading literature about, you know, don't keep a shrine to your child. Take the pictures down. And I would never do that. Like, I would never do that. I want to live with them every day. I look at Joni's artwork all the time. I spend time in Maddie's room all the time. Like, I want to live with them. I don't ever want to be apart from them. I certainly don't want to try to forget them.
Yeah. I admire that so much.
And, you know, the other thing I might say, I guess I'm on a bit of a roll, is just, I talk about Maddie and Joni being remarkable, but Hannah and Ethan, I mean, what a story that they have. I mean, their journey, their recovery. I know I'm a proud dad right here, so
No,
I guess the one thing you can do is brag about your kids and maybe get away with it.
Yeah.
But, Hannah's story, she suffered a severe traumatic brain injury and was in a state of post-traumatic amnesia for 7 days, came out and suffered, you know, I don't need to catalog her injuries, but severe facial fractures. And she has always been a great student, but obviously suffering a severe traumatic brain injury causes brain damage. And when she got home, I actually, I remember this, I begged her to take a year off. I begged her to take time, and she wouldn't have it. So we got back home. She took basically a class through the summer. She refused to miss time. So she caught up from the school that she missed when we were in Jacksonville recovering. And she actually went to see a pediatric neurologist, and she had to learn how to learn again. So where before she could just read and retain, after the traumatic brain injury, she learned to retain information in different ways. So she would read, and then she would say it out loud, and then she would listen, and then she would actually write it out. I think they call it kinesthetic learning. I might be saying that wrong, but they're showing that actually if you handwrite stuff out, it helps you code the memory better. So she battled, and it sounds weird to put it this way, but she battled her way through a brain injury. So,
and how old is she again?
Hannah's 20 now. She was 16 at the time of the accident, and grade 11, and finished grade 11, and went back into grade 12, and again, proud dad moment, so forgive me, but she was the valedictorian at her high school.
Wow.
And she, at this point in her life, it's hard to say, she's in third year university, but she has a couple different paths that she's looking at, but one of them she's looking at quite seriously is devoting her life to helping people that have suffered brain injuries. So being a neuropsychologist, that's something that she's looking at, a master's program. So she's done incredibly well. And
talk about embracing the 1090 motto. Like, Yeah.
I stress about it sometimes because it's pretty heavy, but she would be the best sort of person to do that. But, the other part of that, I think she'd also be a great educator. Like, she'd be a wonderful teacher and a wonderful coach, and she always was a coach. So I think no matter what path she goes down, she certainly has a lot to give. And then Ethan's story is also remarkable. He battled through horrific injuries, and
He was 15 at the time.
15. Do you want to hear a cool basketball story?
Of course, always.
I love this basketball story.
Ethan was a hooper, huh?
Ethan was a hooper. So, yeah, his entire sort of left side of his upper body was compromised. So he broke all his ribs on the left side, his collarbone, dislocated shoulder. He's a right-handed shooter, but imagine what that would do for basketball. And he was discharged from the hospital before his sister and his mom, and he immediately started physio in Jacksonville. And he would, the first thing he's told he could do was try to walk his fingers up the ball like this. And he would do it over and over and over again until he could get his left arm. And then up to a certain height, then we found a basketball hoop for him in Jacksonville, and he'd go down and practice. He started just with his right hand because he couldn't, have his left hand involved in a shot at all. And he ended up training through tons of physio. We were in Jacksonville for just under 6 weeks post-accident. We got back, probably it was about 2 weeks after we returned. He was playing for a representative basketball team, and the coach sent him a message and said, "Can you play?" And I remember talking to my wife, Jamie, and she said, "He's not going to play, is he?" And I said, "No, there's no way he's going to play. It's got to be like ceremonial or something like that, right?" So we go back to the gym. Doesn't play in the first bit of the game, and sure enough, coach puts him in. And we come from a lovely, like our home Belleville, like it is a beautiful place. We enjoy incredible community support before the tragedy, during the tragedy, living through the tragedy. We've always really, my family's benefited from an incredible community. So son jumps on the basketball court, and everyone gives him a round of applause, and I'm thinking he's just going to step off. Right?
Yeah.
Nope. So Dad's starting to sweat now. Mom's sweating and maybe getting a little bit angry at Dad as to what's going on. So basketball. I know a lot better than I do. Basketball's not my sport, but I see Ethan was a guard, and someone, I'm closing my eyes because I can see it right now. Someone sort of on the other team goes up, and I think, oh, this is going to be like an uncontested layup, right? Like he looked like he's going to go up. And then sure enough, my son steps in and jumps up like this, so his full left side of his body's exposed.
No.
Block against the backboard, and he was fine. Now, I'm sure it hurt him.
But the adrenaline, he was fine.
Oh, no, I'm telling you right now, I got chills down my spine just even thinking about
That's so cool.
Just thinking of the jam it took for him to go out and do that. And, his story after that, he's got a great group of friends back home, and they have been incredible again all the way through. I mean, those boys got each other through COVID, and they've got each other through all the stuff that you go through, plus obviously our own tragedy. They're still close buddies now, and his basketball team went on to win the province of Ontario as well. So that's a great sort of storybook sport ending for my son, that's for sure. And he continues to thrive. He actually is in a course called Police Foundations at the college, and I'm a professor in the college that my son goes to back home. So that's super cool.
What do you teach?
I teach in the paralegal program, and I still teach a Police Foundations course as well. I won't teach my son. They'll have to sub me out for that, but I love it. He's there, and he does a lot of fitness as part of his training. So we talk about fitness, and I love having him close by. And then even Hannah's at a university called Queen's University. It's in Kingston, Ontario, and it's only just under an hour from home. So the four of us stay pretty tight.
And your wife,
Jamie.
Do you want to talk about her injuries?
Yeah, I can. As proud as I am as a dad, I think I'm even more proud as a husband. I'm sounding boastful here, but like Jamie is a truly resilient, tough woman, and she suffered horrific injuries and was in the state of, they call it, I always think of a coma, right? But the light switch doesn't just get turned off and on like you see sometimes in the movies. It's called post-traumatic amnesia, and there's a number of different stages, but the reality is Jamie essentially was in a state of post-traumatic amnesia for 5 weeks and was never actually discharged from the hospital in Jacksonville until we essentially took an ambulance to a plane and flew home together as a family. And Jamie still required a lot of care when we got home. And, you know, there was some negative predictions for my wife and what her outcome would be. And she has smashed through all of those negative predictions. And she does it with grit and determination. And we joke about it a bit because one thing that Jamie told me, she said, if you do this thing, if you go on this podcast, make sure you talk about having a sense of humor, because you got to have a sense of humor or you won't survive.
You gotta laugh or cry. You know?
You got to laugh and cry when you got to cry. And we've been through a ton. And why I say that is, you know, she'll laugh when she hears it. She's got a team, right? She's got a team, and some people have been let go from the team, but she's got a team of people that help her. But, you know, but for her grit and determination, you know, a lot of people in her situation wouldn't have the fight that she has. And she is now, you know, she's back. She's brilliant. All of her great qualities are there. She's a loving mother. It's Christmas time right now, and she's driving me crazy with putting up the lights. And I put them, she does all the work, right? She is the spirit of our family, spirit of Christmas, and an amazing wife and an incredible mom to Hannah and Ethan. And she was an amazing mom to Maddie and Joni.
How did you navigate? You have 2 dead kids. Mm-hmm. Your wife is 5 weeks in the hospital. How did you tell her the reality of what happened?
Yeah, that's a tough question. It's I lived in the hospital. I would go out in a day from time to time when Hannah and Ethan were discharged to spend time with them. But I stayed in the hospital for essentially 6 weeks. And, you know, talking to Jamie about that is, how do you rank the hardest thing you've ever done? It's certainly one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And I couldn't tell her for a lengthy period of time because she was in that compromised mental state. So part of it was...
She wouldn't remember. Even
remember.
If you did.
No. And then I was worried about telling her, and then she'd forget and then tell her again and be like hearing the worst news of your life over and over again.
Yeah, it makes sense to wait.
So I remember specifically a time where she remembered actually that some chocolate milk that a nurse had brought in shouldn't be consumed because it had been left out for a day. And as soon as I heard her say that,
like,
wait a second,
she's remembering.
She's remembering. And yeah, that day I talked to the psychologist at the hospital about it, who was wonderful with me.
Was part of you pretty anxious to tell her, or dreading it, but
I was
knew
dreading.
you had to? Like, what was that like?
All of those things. I was dreading
and
it.
Sorry, but did you had to tell your 2 other kids too?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to group that in with this combo, but sorry, just a lot of process.
No, it's a lot. It's you know, so my son I told right after the accident in the hospital.
Okay.
And actually, when he first asked me, I said they were okay, and I just blurted it out because I didn't want to believe the nightmare was true. And then I told him, and I said, I'm so sorry, I'll never lie to you about something like that again. And then same concerns with respect to Jamie's post-traumatic amnesia that I had with Hannah, right? I had to wait until she could retain it. And I told her at the hospital bed, right? And we cried together, right? I mean, what else can you do? And then with Jamie, I mean, she's so incredible. I think I had a paranoia that she'd leave me. You know, It was a thought that went through my head. I remember being so scared of that. She'd be so angry at me for saying that, but that's the truth. I mean, and I think part of her sort of knew somehow. I think part of her sort of knew.
Yeah.
There's something about a mother's intuition that's way above our heads. But, this is the kind of person Jamie is. She grieves. But from the moment that we came to this realization, that I think the thought was we got a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old that are navigating through this too. So there's only so much time that you can sort of be on the sidelines as a parent when there's two teenagers that need a mom and a dad.
So how do you have two kids severely hurt in the hospital, you have a wife severely hurt in the hospital, and then you have two dead kids. How how'd you do that?
The way that came together, again, for me, I just had such lovely people helping me. So the hospital that we were at in Jacksonville, there's everybody there was wonderful, but there's two or three people that really stood out that helped. My very, very close with my Aunt Donna, my Uncle Mark. They were actually on the family vacation with us. When they heard about the tragedy, they were already back to New York State, and they turned around and drove back to Jacksonville. I got an older brother named Keisha. He came down to Jacksonville. He had a close friend named Colin Walsh, wonderful human being. He's like an angel. Came down, put my family up in an Airbnb and stayed there in support. Took time away from his own wife and two children and his job to come down and support my mother and father-in-law. Oh, I got to correct you too. It's Marg. She hates Marge.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be
so sorry, Marg.
But Marg wouldn't be happy about that. So they came down, Jamie's sister Lindsay and her sister Christy. So I would never have been able to navigate it at all without their just incredible family support. So they essentially either were at the hospital or at the Airbnb. And keep in mind, people are being discharged at different times, right? I was discharged from the hospital that day. Ethan was discharged, I think, about, close to a week later. So we had to get him a place. He went and stayed at the Airbnb with family. Hannah was sometime after that, because Hannah was discharged from the pediatric intensive care unit. But because of her, traumatic brain injury, she went to a place called Brooks Rehabilitation to really start doing her, I guess the best way to put it, rehab for her brain. That had to start right away. And that started at a place called Brooks Rehab, and she started seeing a neuropsychologist, started with speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, because that young brain needed to get work done on it right away. So all that was happening in Jacksonville while Jamie was still in the hospital. So the way that we were able to navigate that was just unwavering, incredible family support. And then, think about a friend, a guy like Colin Walsh coming down and supporting the family like that. It was truly wonderful. So that's the way that we navigated Jacksonville. Would never have been able to do that on my own. I remember being in the hospital, and it was such a horrific, car crash. Obviously my phone was destroyed, but we all rely on just pressing buttons now on the phone or telling your phone to call so-and-so. I was having a hard time. Someone handed me a phone, remembering phone numbers to call people.
Yeah.
But people came, and they were supportive, very supportive. And we all lived down there for just under 6 weeks before we all flew back as a family back to, we flew into a place called CFB Trenton, and then back to Belleville.
One of the reasons I started this podcast is I felt so alone. Like, just not a lot of stories out there, or so I thought. And this is going to sound weird, but, like, I was a good guy, man. Like, was a good dad and a good husband, and there's a lot of anger and confusion about what's happened to my family. And meeting people like you you're such a good guy, man. You're such a good guy, and Ryan, anyone, you can just tell, like the first minute meeting you, like this is just the nicest, soft-spoken, humble, good dad guy. And as bad as it, as sad as it is to just, and you just love him so much. Like you travel from Canada, you go to Jacksonville to tell doctors thank you. You come here to tell me thank you, and you just talk about your kids the whole time and your wife the whole time. And I ask you how you do it, and you just say other people help me. And I just need that, like, because I'm not alone and I'm not crazy, and I was good, and nothing I did caused what happened. And from the outside, when you don't lose a kid or kids, it's just hard to understand, but like it's very confusing, and you just have many questions, and a lot of the questions you just kind of point at yourself, like, what did I do? What could I have done? And so I guess I'm just the empathy and the connection of just kind of knowing your pain and then watching you. Just a similar person to me, I think. I'm sorry, man. It's just really not fair and really messed up. But thank you. Yeah. Thank you for coming out here. What did losing 2 kids do to you? How did it change you for better or for worse?
A big part of me died.
Yeah.
A big part of me died. They were everything to me. Yeah, it's forever changed me, right?
Yeah.
We get told these things, right? It's hard, right? Good things happen to good people. Everything happens for a reason, and you just, try to do the right things. Good things will follow. So if you accept that, right, and you think about that, and something bad happens to you, it's the first thing you're going to think.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Is that what you thought?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did.
You're shaking?
Yeah, what's the number one thing a dad's supposed to do?
Yeah, take care of your kids.
So I went on a long, still part of my journey, but a lot of nights, months and months and months, just sort of sitting in a chair thinking it's all my fault. And if it's not my fault that I got rear-ended, why didn't I see it coming? If I get past that, well, then I must have done something. Cosmic fault. I know that sounds weird, but
oh, it doesn't at all.
What did I do?
Was I Ted Bundy in the previous life? Like, what the hell did I do?
Somebody asked me once. I don't want to get too far into it, but we're here. Do I hate God? And I said, no. Sometimes I wonder if he hates me. I'm just trying to be real about that.
It's a fair question.
So it's, and I've said before, I don't hate life for this happening. In fact, I love life. I love experiencing the beauty I experienced today. I love that. I love every second I have with my wife. And I love every second I have with Ann and Ethan. I love it. I cherish it. I just wish Maddie and Joni were here to enjoy it too. They just had so much to give. That to me is the worst. The worst tragedy is the impact that they would have had on the world. All those people are deprived of that now.
Mm.
Yeah, I've struggled. A lot of, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I call it the negative thought patterns, right? You start spinning on stuff and spinning and spinning. There was a period of time where I'd wait for everyone to go to sleep and I'd just watch. The only thing that would stop that spinning, I call it negative thought pattern, whatever you want to call it, the imagery that I have in my mind. The only thing that would stop it is like something shocking on TV. Like I'd watch war movies or some kind of, or horror movies or something that would just be shocking enough to stop that negative thought pattern. And then there's a couple of things. The other thing I found, jumping into cold water will stop it.
Ice bath guy.
Ice bath will stop it because you're spinning. And then when you hit that cold water when it's cold enough, the only thing you can think about is how you're going to take that next breath.
Yeah, that similar thing with tattoos for me. Like same idea. Like, yeah, it's hard for your mind to go elsewhere other than that pain.
Pain in that moment, yeah.
And it's kind of like a vacation from the other pain. Like, let's focus on this cold water instead of my dead kids and my injured kids and my very injured wife.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's changed me. It's changed all of us. So I think that's an important thing to ask, and I know why I ask it because I do talk about just how incredible I think they've done, but obviously they've suffered their share, and they will continue to.
Can we talk about, or do you want to talk about, like, did you see all the horrible stuff?
I did.
Do you want to?
I don't want to go there because I just don't know.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know if you saw it or not.
I did. Yeah.
Are you glad you saw it, or you wish you never did?
I mean, I was trapped in a motor vehicle for, I don't know, because it's hard to know what's happening with time when you're in that sort of state of trauma. Keep in mind the truck was basically on top. It almost ran over the back part of my van. I think I could almost touch the truck from the front seat. So just imagine the horror of being there in that moment.
I can't. I truly can't. There's nothing worse. Being trapped in a car with your dead kids.
And then,
you're conscious? Are you screaming? Are you crying? Are you in and out of? Are you knocked out? Like, what was it like being in this car?
I came to, and then I immediately became aware that my son was conscious. So the first thing I wanted to do is just try to talk to him to make sure, see where he was at. And obviously I was absolutely overjoyed that he was alive. Like I was just trying to take stock of where we're at. My wife was unconscious. I heard Hannah come back to life. And I heard Joni stop breathing. Maddie was gone. I could see Maddie. And then I was worried that I was trapped because I was crushed between the steering wheel and the seat. And I was worried because I could see fluid leaking. The brights of the truck were lighting up the car. I thought the car was going to explode and that we were going to be trapped in it. And then as people started to come to the window, I just was trying to instruct them to calm down and to call 911 and to get help. And then, I don't know how long it took for the first responders to get there, but we were jaws of life, right? I was sawed out of the car. And then grief was tricky because there's 3 other people clinging to life. So my role immediately, I was put in an ambulance with my daughter, Hannah. And when someone is coming out of, or not coming out of, when someone suffered a head injury, there's a response to pull out life-saving equipment. So there's only so many people that can go to an accident scene. Almost immediately after being extracted from the vehicle, I had to help by pinning Hannah's arms down to get to the hospital so she wouldn't remove her life-saving equipment. So I traveled to the hospital with Hannah. And my son, they thought Ethan was the worst because of his head injury. They took him to UF Health in Jacksonville. It's a hospital called Shands. And then Hannah and Jamie were originally taken to another hospital. So my first thought was, we got to get our family together. And I was originally taken to Orange Park as well. And there was a resident there that was kind enough to drive me to the Jacksonville Hospital, UF Health. And then Hannah and Jamie were taken there by chopper.
This is this is so messed up. This is like a Hollywood movie couldn't do this.
Yeah. But from that moment forward, everyone just started to fight. It's all you can do.
There's a lot of emotions with the grief. Denial, bargaining, shock, depression, suicide ideation, guilt, anger. What are some of the, or maybe there's one I didn't mention, but what are some of your top 3 or 4 emotions you had to battle through going through this thing?
Fault is number one for me.
So guilt.
Guilt. Yeah, I just feel like somehow I feel like I failed to protect my kids. That's been the hardest one for me to work through.
Do you hate yourself?
Yeah.
You have negative self-talk?
Yes.
What do you do about that?
Where's the purchase in it? Where does it get you? Like, if you realize that the people around you need you, once you decide you're going to live, once you make that decision to live, and there's people that really need you, you can't afford to sit and wallow.
Do you remember a specific time when you made that decision?
I make it every day.
So well said. So well said. Do you have days where you don't make it and you just don't want to get out of bed?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's going to go through that, right? Like, there's going to be good days and bad days. You have to, I mean. And then you have the people that help you through. Like, my wife's been an incredible companion to me. She's helped me through. Every once in a while, she knows it's time to give me a kick in the ass. Yeah, I always come back to Hannah and Ethan and my wife Jamie. They just, here's a confusing thing that I struggle with. Yeah, obviously I've been put through pain, but I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have them. They're
It's
incredible.
so confusing.
So confusing.
It's like, I'm so glad you said that because, yeah, I feel the same way. I don't know if that just shows like the expression of love or it just shows how messed up life is. I don't really know, but yeah, I feel that way a lot too.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here. Obviously, I'm tense, right? I'm in white knuckling this chair right now pretty hard, but
I've been asking you hard questions.
yeah.
Man.
But I'm also happy to be here. I'm happy to have a chance to do this.
I love how you like talking about them. That's just something I really relate to. Like, I'm going to talk about them, and I love them, and pictures are going to be up, and yeah. Any other emotions besides the shame and guilt that you think are worth mentioning, or is that mostly the biggest one?
The biggest one, I think, ultimately that gets through is love, right? That's the emotion that I think is the most important one. That's what gets us through. It's love for them, and then the love for the rest of our family and friends that are with us. That's the emotion that you got to come back to. That's the one that helps me to survive.
Part of my grief journey is the balancing act of they want me to be happy. I know that, but then if you're happy, you feel bad for being happy. How do you balance that?
That's the hardest balance.
That's why I ask, because I still battle that daily. That's a really hard one for me.
You know what we've said a few times, though, what I think really is, you got to battle, right?
Yeah.
It's an every day waking up and choosing to have that battle, right? And knowing that there's going to be good days and bad days, but you got to battle.
Yeah.
You got to battle through. And obviously there's times that we're down. But I do think, part of this process is talking about it. So talking about it, my wife, Jamie, and I have this thing that we're into right now that's great. It's 100% honesty. So 100% honesty is hilarious if you go there as a couple. But, if you're being 100% honest, there's going to be days where you say, look, this isn't a good day for me. I'm having a rough day.
Yeah.
And then there are even times where one of us has been down a bit longer than the other. And we'll even check in and say, look, I know it's hard, but let's try to make time to we're never going to snap out of it, but let's battle even harder. Like taking stock. Okay, here's where we're at. Obviously, we've had a couple bad days in a row. What can we do to battle through that?
Communication.
Yeah, huge. So not only talking about Maddie and Joni, but talking about our own feelings, talking about how we're feeling, talking about Hannah and Ethan and how they're doing. It's just those check-ins and communication that I think is critical to working through what are extremely complicated emotions.
What are the benefits of talking about it that you found?
Well, I find when we talk about it, sometimes we can talk through the lies too, right?
Talk through the lies?
Yeah, the lies in that sometimes we can lie to ourselves, right? We can get into, a negative pattern and we start seeing things a certain way that aren't true. And sometimes by talking it through, I don't mean to be too loose in terms of language, but you can call each other on your shit sometimes, right?
Yeah.
When you're communicating, saying, look, I see what you're saying here, but what you're saying here is that's not the way that we're going to do this. So it's with those open lines of communication, I think you can stay motivated and goal-oriented and real with each other.
Yeah. I have a follow-up question about you hating yourself. What ways have you found, or how do you punish yourself? Like for me, for example, I'd get really drunk and feel awful about myself, or I would self-sabotage, or I would be really mean to people that I love. Just wanted to not feel good, and so there's just some examples for me. Do you have any? Can you think of any of how you kind of take it out on yourself?
It's weird. I got this. It's the worst thing for me is just sitting in that chair, staying up all night and just grinding through. That is my own, and I'm sure I'm not the best guy to be around at all times. Not saying that, obviously I have bad moods. I can be negative and difficult to be around as well, and self-sabotage. But the torture, for me, it's just sitting in that chair and running through things over and over and over again.
And the shit you saw.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're in charge of your thoughts at all? I just feel like I wake up and I just have images of dead people that I love and past memories of them or what it might look like if they were here. And I just don't ever feel like I'm even... Do you feel that way ever?
Yeah, dreams are tricky, right? So if it's a nightmare, then obviously it's horrible to go through.
Yeah.
But if it's a positive dream and I'm spending time with them, well, then waking up, also terrible.
Man, I was just talking about this in another episode. Like, that would be awful, I think.
Well, and in terms of the journey through, I mean, I had a dream that I'll share that was quite recent, and it's horrible. Joni always wanted time, right? You read that, Joni always wanted time. So it was Joni, and we were talking, and she was saying, Dad, you've been working a lot. I really think we should be spending more time together.
Yeah.
And I said, Jojo, no, of course, like, let's make more time. And then it turned and she said, well, we can't do that because I'm dead. And I woke up and I was just like, and then when those happen, I'm terrified. I'm not going back to sleep. Last thing I want to do is go back to that. So then you just sit in the chair, grind through what's rest of the night, what's left in the night.
You and Jamie gotten closer through this, or ups and downs, or how would you explain your relationship losing 2 kids together?
I just won the lotto. Like, she's so good to me. Like, we've gotten closer, if that was possible. We've loved each other we'll love each other forever.
You tell her about your negative thoughts and hating yourself?
Yes and no. Like, if you love someone, like, we love each other. She doesn't want to hear that. And she's right. But yeah, I've shared with her how I feel, and then she tries to give me a reality check and focus on some of the positive things that I try to do. So she's very supportive through that. But that's difficult for her to hear too.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew time.
You want to switch your shirt?
Yeah.
Let's see what this is.
Oh, so this is the original artwork.
Okay, so yeah, what shirt's this? This shirt's for...
This is for Joni, and Joni's an incredible artist. This is just one of the special drawings that she did in her... This is how Joni would sign her name, so we actually got that put on a T-shirt.
The J and the K together.
Yeah.
I love
So we were
that.
able to put this on a T-shirt. And one thing that's been really important in our grief journey is having events to bring the community together to spend time and remember Maddie and Joni. So what we just did is we called it a coffee house, but it was in November. I just loved that we showcased all of Joni's art. And then her friends put together some art as well, and some of Maddie's friends put together some artwork. And then that's, the same evening, same coffee house, some of Maddie's closest friends, they're wonderful dancers. They did a dance. They're in their last year of high school now. The dance they performed was beautiful. And one of Maddie's friends played the piano, and it was just such a lovely evening. People contributed music. My aunt and uncle contributed music. And it was just, a real coffee house, right? People are open mic.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I loved it. So I mentioned earlier, our community back home, when this happened in Jacksonville, the Belleville community came together, and they called it Held in Our Hearts Forever. And they really rallied back home and really supported us when we came back. And again, we continue to take time as a community to, maybe sound weird to put it this way, but to spend time with Maddie and Joni.
How do you communicate with Maddie and Joni today? What are some things that represent them, or things you do to keep their spirit alive?
We created a fund or foundation called the Dolphin and Penguin Fund. And there's a group that gets together and we communicate. And what we really try to do is we do fundraisers, and then the whole point of the fund is to reduce economic barriers for children that want to participate in extracurricular. So it's not just sport. We love sport, right? So we support sports in the community, but it's also the theater. It's also fine arts. Really any sort of extracurricular that children or youth would want to be involved in. Because let's face it, it's expensive to put kids in sports and the arts right now. So there's a fund there that for us to support those organizations. And the other thing that we have recently that I just love, and it's a story about Joni. So Joni was quirky, and she didn't love here's the Canadian word of the day, toques.
Toques.
What is that? A toque, yeah, it's like
Like a beanie.
Beanie, I think that may be what you call it, but we call them toques back home. Toques and gloves and winter boots. So Jamie would get Joni in all of her winter gear, snow pants, winter coat, go to school, and oftentimes like Joni would just get rid of it. She didn't want to wear a toque, didn't want to wear gloves. And one day I got a call at the office, and it was the secretary of the school, St. Joseph's in Belleville, and secretary there's a wonderful person. She said, Joni came to school and she's not dressed appropriately. And I said, well, that's not right. It can't be. Jamie sent the kids off. And she said, well, I'm not saying that Jamie didn't send her off, but right now she doesn't have appropriate winter clothing. So I went to the school, and I brought in 5 toques, 5 gloves, 5 scarves. And I just said, every time this happens with Joni, don't make a big deal about it. Just have her come in. And if she can choose whatever she wants to wear, you'll probably get more agreement from her if you tell her than if you tell her to do it.
Right.
So she came in and chose it. So what we have now is we call it Angel's Closet, and elementary schools can contact
so
the
many
fund.
cool things.
Oh, I love this too. We even have underwear there in case the kindergartners, someone has an accident or something like that. Yeah. They can just come in and get, no big deal. It's just anonymous. Here's new underwear. No one needs to know. And so we have that Angel's Closet. So it's a modest fund back home, but it's just try to support those initiatives. So that's the best that we can do. We're trying to keep their legacy moving forward because, again, they were so wonderful with their friend group and with the community. That's how we try to keep their legacy alive.
How is it being a guy with such heavy emotions? In terms of, is it hard to talk about, to show emotions with at work or friends, family? What's that like?
Yeah, so work was tough. I was a criminal lawyer for 18 years, a trial lawyer, and when I got back home, there's no way I could practice because there was still lots of care to coordinate. Probably for the first, 18 months back home, there was still lots of care to coordinate. And then, I have to realize, and, I have a difficult realization that I'm still a damaged man.
Yeah, this happened in 2022.
Yeah.
So.
But again, there's a colleague of mine that reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in coming to teach at the college. And I started teaching at the college, and I found it therapeutic because I find with teaching, and I also coach, it's like immediate gratification in some ways. Like if you can show someone how to do it and they pick up on it, there is a good feeling that comes with that.
You have purpose. Yeah. You feel like you matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really, my sort of journey has brought me to teaching and coaching, and I do find that I find that rewarding.
A big part of my grief journey was not just losing Courtney Riggins, Frankie Race Ryder, like not just like the emotional loss, but like you get home and you're like the physical, like the house is quiet now and there's empty bedrooms now, and it's, you go from a family of 5 to 2. In my situation.
Yeah.
For you guys, you go, family of 6 to 4.
Yeah.
That is very painful. Like the difference of the physical life you have. You have any thoughts on that? Because I found that really painful and sad as well.
Well, it's extraordinarily painful. And again, I'm not a neurologist by any means, nowhere close, but someone explained to me once that, like, when you have children and your wife, your whole brain is projecting what your future's going to be. Your whole future's going to be, those trips down the aisle.
No, I was gonna have grandkids with Courtney and Frankie, and we're gonna have,
right. So but that's even, it's emotional, but it's also like, that's how your brain's programmed, right? And now all of a sudden that's changed. And in terms of, like, Joni should be in grade 9 right now. Should be talking to her about, whether or not she's going to have a boyfriend, or what team she's going to play on, or how she fit in with her friends, and how people are changing now that they're in high school, and how much more she likes it in elementary school. And, I still communicate with Maddie's friends, and Maddie has a cousin that is just a lovely, lovely person, Aubrey, and she's getting ready to go to university, and I should be talking to Maddie about that right now. And, I'm not supposed to be an empty nester. Yeah. And I'm lucky enough that my son's at college in Belleville, so I love having him at home. And I see Hannah as I'm spoiled. I'll drive to see Hannah and have dinner if I want to see Hannah, if she'll have me. So, but you're right. I mean, it's not what it's going to be, and the house is quieter, and there are empty rooms, and it's incredibly painful.
What'd you do with their rooms?
Their rooms have essentially stayed the same. I left them for the longest time. Like, Maddie's whiteboard hasn't changed.
Still writing on it.
Still writing on it.
That's
Still
cool.
a to-do list. All Joni's artwork is still up in her room. We did some renos upstairs. Maddie's bed's not in her room anymore, but other than that, their rooms are untouched. And again, it's a process through pain, because, I'm starting to incorporate more of their stuff, and where I can talk about them and love to talk about them. Again, I said you could run out of tape. But sometimes the pictures, will be difficult for me, like paralyzing pain.
Yeah.
But it's important. It's part of my process that those pictures are starting to come out. There's a picture that I just love, and to me, it's such an indication of, and I'm going to give the Coles notes, but Maddie at first got cut from a play, and she was devastated, but she battled through in such Maddie fashion, because although she's a great swimmer, and I think if other people heard, they might laugh, not much of a singer or a dancer, but she battled through, and she ended up getting a role of Squidward and SpongeBob the musical. Just love it. Just love it. So
Squidward.
her Squidward, like, costume or outfit, it's still in a room. It's still there. But also in the room is a beautiful picture that Joni drew of Maddie as Squidward, saying congratulations on getting the role. Like, that's all still there. And it's if anything, as the pictures start to fade, I'm starting to frame them, the artwork.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Maybe get one tattooed one day.
Yeah,
if that's your thing.
Yeah. No, I've got a couple tattoos. I would do that. With Joni's artwork, it's difficult to replicate, because there's always something, like, even when you look at the eyes of this little monkey here, there's always some special signature of Joe that I'd have to make sure that the artist could replicate it, because
Totally could.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Throughout your grief journey, family, friends, strangers, maybe people who've tried to help you, talk to you, what are some things you liked that people have said and done, and what are some things that maybe you didn't like?
I had some friends, and I give grace because it's just so complicated. But I had some friends who I now am communicating with, but at the time, they just felt like they didn't know what to say. And they were paralyzed by it, so that they didn't pick up the phone. And with each day that passes, when you don't pick up the phone, it becomes that much harder to pick up the phone. And although I give grace for it because of just how complicated and painful it is, that's probably not the right approach. People say insensitive things. People make mistakes. I was still involved as much as I can with Maddie's swim team. There's a swim meet every year in her name, which is just beautiful. And because Maddie was the best teammate ever, so they still celebrate Maddie, and they will moving forward with the swim meet. I always feel bad saying something negative, but I think it's important. Somebody said, well, geez, I guess you're happy you don't have to volunteer at those swim meets in time anymore. And
oh, man. 2 thumbs down.
I just said, I was tearful, and it was one time where I did say something back. I said I'd give everything just to do it.
Yeah.
One more chance. Give everything in the world for one more chance to do that. People try. I mean, I think part of the process, though, is grace for error, because it is just so hard. I think that there's a lot to be said for people who are trying to support someone that's grieving to actually do the work and read some of the literature that's out there so that they can learn how to support the people as best they can, because it is complicated.
Yeah.
So the folks that were just... I think Colin Campbell there's a great chapter in his book about sitting Shiva. And I'm born and raised Catholic. But that Jewish tradition, when I think about it, and Colin is far more articulate than I am, but the way he describes people that just silently come in and support as part of that process, the friends that are just there,
Yeah.
through the tears, through the mess, it's just that solid, continuous support that you can depend on.
I'll sit in this with you.
That's right.
And I won't try to minimize it. I won't try to say they're in a better place, or at least you don't have to go to swim meets anymore. Like, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, the better place would be when we were all together as a family. What better place? That was my best place.
How do you, a thing I struggle with, sorry, I just keep having these questions pop into my brain. Did you have, are we good? Everything fails in comparison to dead kids. Like, why am I worried about whatever, like, fill in the blank? Mm-hmm. It's really hard for me to adjust back to, I don't know how to say this, like, different world issues that maybe people, like, it's hard for me to, and it's not a good thing. Like, it's hard for me to even take care of myself some days. It's hard for me to clean and do simple tasks because it just seems so silly and irrelevant to the bigger picture. And I just go through these lulls of, I just can't do it. I feel like if I do anything, I'm just portraying the pain almost. Like, how do I have energy to worry about this?
It certainly makes you cut out the mundane.
Yeah.
But, I'll share a story, and you got days where you don't want to shower.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything.
Do any of that. Like, you don't want to.
And part of it is the hatred we have towards ourselves. Like, I don't deserve to be taken care of.
Yeah, you can certainly take poor care of yourself. I have many times throughout this.
What about isolation? You ever try to isolate yourself for a while?
I have. The only thing so I think, again, isolation is so risky because that's when you can really start falling into what I call the lies, right? Yeah. That's when you can start to deceive yourself. That's when you can start to get into what I refer to as significant negative thought patterns, going down bad rabbit trails.
You've been down there before?
Oh, yeah.
Suicide ideation?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about.
Do you want?
I believe communicating about that is almost like a betrayal. I say that because I have so much sympathy for people that make the decision to take their lives, because I used to sort of operate under the illusion that they were being selfish, but I think the overwhelming majority of them believe that it's a selfless act. They're in a state of obviously poor mental health, but that act becomes what I'll call the solution. So them taking their life will make everyone's life around them better, right? So that is the negative. That's the negative thought that people have to snap out of, and they have to realize that, look, if I do that, it's going to compound everyone else's grief. It's going to make everyone's life worse. I just come back to over and over again, Jamie and Hannah and Ethan are so wonderful. They deserve a father that's going to be there. Jamie deserves a husband. And that's what's been my saving grace, is being able to come back to that. And as I said before, if I go too far down that road, I got Jamie to kick my ass and get back in order.
Kind of getting close to the end here. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about grief or your story? It's a long way back to Canada, so I want to make sure you say all the things you want to have said.
I think it's important, and why I'm here is it's a shitty club that I never wanted to be part of. But together we can survive. So focus on your loved ones, focus on the people that care about you, and get through those dark times and be a survivor. Because it is something that needs to be survived. I really think of it that way. Like, you're a survivor, and you're a true inspiration, and you've devoted your life to this cause, and that is part of my grief journey, is finding you. Yeah, I want you to know that.
I appreciate that. Started this podcast to find people like you. Like, not being alone, man. And like you said, and that's my message too, is together. Like, it's possible, actually. Alone, nah. But we is greater than me, I think. Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
What happens to you when you die, do you think?
It's a very difficult question, and I don't believe that we're meant to know. That's the best that I can answer. I don't believe that we're capable of knowing that.
Why not just give yourself the lie of, I'll see them again no matter what, I'll be fine? Why not take that?
Well, it's great solace. It's great solace. It's great comfort. I believe I'll see them again. I do. I believe that, but it's not something we can know. And I don't believe in an interventionist God. I don't believe that there's a... And I struggle with that because I never want to... I don't want people with their beliefs. I would never want to disrespect someone's belief, but I can speak about my own belief. And the best that I can get to is that I do pray that I can continue as best I can, as damaged as I am, to live in a way that would make Maddie and Joni proud. It's not a direct answer to your question. I appreciate that, but it's the best I got.
I appreciate the honest answer. You think your kids are, Maddie and Joni, you think they're proud of you?
I hope they are.
They're definitely proud of you. I'm just in an awkward position because I need to wrap it up, but I don't want it to end. I love the conversation so much with the unfortunate similarities we have. But, yeah, I think, anything else you want to say? Are we good?
I don't mind saying this, and just because we've done a podcast doesn't mean we can't talk again, my friend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Actually, it was good. I'd love to come to Canada. I've been there once. Yeah. Marijuana's legal over there.
It definitely is legal there.
So I don't know why I'm not over there more often.
We've gone at it hard. Since it's been legalized, we've gone at it hard.
Yeah. I thank you. I got emotional and said it earlier, but yeah, I needed this conversation as much as you did. Movies? Should we do top 3 favorite movies and then be done?
Yeah. So top 3 for me.
Hold on, sorry. Your kids, you want to throw out any movies they like real quick for Maddie, Joni? Anything that they like?
We had so many fun movies we watched that were great. I mean, family movies for us, though, for kids, and they even creep into my favorite movies. We are big Princess Bride fans. We love the Princess Bride. That's such great.
Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah. And who doesn't love the Goonies, right? We love the
Goonies. Oh, we had the Goonies on the other day.
Yeah, love the Goonies. And those are in there. I mean, I don't know if they're, Hannah is a movie aficionado. She loves it. So I got to give shout out for Hannah. I mean, Silver Linings Playbook.
Hey.
Amazing.
Courtney loved that movie.
Such a great movie. It's such an amazing love story. Royal Tenenbaums. It's something that Hannah and I have shared.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's silly. It's a silly good, but it's crazy. And Little Miss Sunshine, those sort of dark, situational comedies are hilarious. And I gotta say, it's cliche, but I'm a big Rocky fan. I've always loved the movie Rocky.
Nothing cliche about Rocky.
I love The Rock. I love Rocky. The
What's
original
your favorite? Movie. The original?
Oh yeah, no question about it. The original.
What about Rocky 3 though? I'll break you.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Russian. That's Rocky 4. Yeah, that's the.
Is Rocky 3 Apollo? Well, screw me. I don't even know anything about Rocky, I guess.
Well, so the first Rocky is he fights Apollo, and it's amazing, and he loses at the end, but wins ultimately because he wins Adrian, right? They have the amazing love story and realize that they complete each other, right? And then he comes back and beats Apollo in part 2, but then he kind of gets a bit full of himself and makes the money, and B.A. Baracus, Clubber Lang as he was there, puts him in his place. Mr. T, of course, I should say.
You're Rocky.
Oh, I love Rocky. I love my Rocky. And then Drago kills Apollo. That's the sad thing. So I think Rocky, and the next one after that is Rocky 4, because it's such an incredible movie, and the training scenes are amazing, and it's sort of the natural training versus the steroid abuse. It's good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that 3 movies? Did we do 3?
I went through more than 3, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm probably leaving some out.
What about Fargo?
Fargo's
Don't you know?
Movie. Fargo, and I was saying I love Fargo the movie, but Fargo season 1 with Billy Bob is an amazing series as well. It's worth a watch.
Good. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. Life's 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it.